Hey guys, welcome back with another video with Linksy. This is my third video in my Gorok slash Lizardman series, and it's more essentially than anything a discussion on lizards and on their various lords and how to best upgrade them and discuss all of their skills and skill tree. These are the three basic lords that you can hire. You can acquire a Saurus Allblood, you can acquire the red Crested Skink, and a Crested agent, which is quite a cool unit. Looking at the Saurus Allblood, just on a side note, it is on turn 4, yes, and I do have 3 level 40. This is essentially due to a mod that I am using. This is just to showcase the effects of the stuff. I will have a Slan Mage also shown with another save file, because I realized that they did not unlock the slants on this one. That said, I usually start with the blue line as level 1, I go Truth Marcher, and then I get all my points into Ancient Cunning and go into Fervent. Now, that said, if you want to have a defensive lord, as I would say is bonded service is good, because you do get that recruitment cost reduction. And you have a lord that's essentially their role is to recruit armies and to support the front line by ferrying armies across. That's a good idea to have. Then I really don't usually go with Iron Disciplinarian unless you really have a public order problem in a specific area, which shouldn't be the case, especially with the new update. Then you go into Draftmaster, and then you go with Lightning Strike, and that should essentially be your first initial stance into blue line. Now, since I have the points, I will keep discussing the blue line as we are here. Now, here I'd like to choose between these three. Now, you have to choose between these three, and all three of them are really useful. Having extra replenishment is really strong. However, if you're going to go with the Stegodon Doom stack, this is not something you'd normally have, because you have the Slan Mage of Life healing your Stegodons. With regards to Wary, getting the ambush defense is really nice, especially if you're going against the Skaven. However, most of the time you get rid of the Skaven in this last year Super Bowl by turn 15. If you're still fighting Skaven long beyond that, you're going to be in a bit of trouble, because Lord Scroll gets ridiculously strong. So Geometric Substance is something I would really recommend. That 15% upkeep reduction is really important on the lizards, as their lords, their armies tend to be very expensive. Renowned and Feared is also something nice to have. It does give you that extra upkeep reduction, that movement range speed, and the hero self-defense, which is really good. Now, that's recruit rank for +1 units is just an added bonus, but you could put it there. And that's essentially your blue line. With regards to your red line, now this comes up to what you are getting. Sometimes people in early game, you're going to go with Saurus Warriors. If you are leveling up Gorok, this is something you'd want to go with. But something that I like to go with is Sacred Guardian, because Croxigors and Temple Guard are going to be your early game units. And then you go with Beast Driver, because you're going to get the Stegodons and the essentially the Stegodons are going to be your main unit. Stegodons are going to be much stronger. Their missile strength, their melee defense, and weapon strength, so they're going to generally do much better. Again, this is up to you, however you want to build it. Some people might even go with Hunt Leader, because Carnosaur is their build. You do you feel that your unit, your army composition is, there is no wrong answer in this scenario. With regards to then Needles, and in this case, if you upgraded these two, I would go for Epicentrist. This is the one that gives you the extra damage to the Stegodons. This is because I do recommend building a Stegodon Doomstack at towards the end of your campaign, mid level of your campaign. Stegodons are ridiculously important and really strong. Stegodons are going to be the thing that you want to use most, as they are very good. Now, if you want to build another army or another type, if you're not playing on Legendary and you want to experiment, it is up to you. There is no right or wrong answer. It is just what you're aiming for. The worst thing you could do, however, and this is where you can make a mistake, is that you build for everything. You have a limited amount of points. As you can see, we'd already spent more than half of the points with these two lines. Keeping that in mind when you're going forward. Now, when you come to choose the special units, you want to get the Carnosaur mount. Always skip the cold one. It's just not worth having cold one mount. Again, if you get confederated, that's fine. You confederate someone and that's fine. But always go for the Carnosaur. It gives him a lot more power and a lot more ability movement speed increases, damage increases, and health just doubles. That said, you could have, and definitely need when you have a Carnosaur, get the agility of the lizard and protection of the old ones. Honored Elder is really important. This makes it indispensable. This is why Saurus Oldblood are so good, and you should be recruiting Saurus Oldbloods non-stop, especially when you get your Lord recruitment high. Honored Elder gives you that extra public order in all provinces, even when they are disbanded, so you're gonna want to get that. Now, if you have a very good trait on your Saurus Oldblood, and in this case I'm gonna save the progress we made till now, you're gonna go in details and see this guy's humble, not really the best trait. It's the best I could find from what I had available. It's unique to the Great Plan, unique to the lizards, but it's a decent one. Say, okay, you decide, you know what, I'm gonna make this guy immortal because that is what I want, and that is absolutely fine. Now, if you don't want to make him immortal, it's also okay, and that is another point you could put somewhere else, but keep in mind you run the risk of losing him permanently. With regards to the blessings, you have the blessing of Chotek, which gives you extra hit points, reduces construction time for capitals and settlement buildings, and increases the settlement buildings of all regions plus 2%. This is something that you will put on the lords that you are going to disband. This case stays active, and this essentially stacks up like crazy. You can have a ridiculous amount of money coming in from all of your settlements if you build this up, because that is going to work on all regions all the time. That is something I would really highly recommend if you're going to hire and disband the hero. If you are going to be using your lord as a fighter, a frontliner, then you're going to look at the others. If you're having a quick fix army, you're recruiting someone and you're trying to build a Saurus stack just to hold somewhere, this is the one for you. It reduces the upkeep and will act that 10 extra armor is going to be really useful. Then you have the Blessings of Tepwork, which is not necessarily that good. It adds movement speed and magic resistance. It is not really something you'd really want. And Hawachi just adds ambush success chance and post-battle loot. It's okay. It's not really good compared with the first two we've seen till now. Then the Blessing of Tassel gives extra public order and casualty replenishment rate. This is something which I believe is honestly the second strongest from all of these blessings. The first strongest being the Blessing of Chotek. The Blessing of Tlaskoltil is something much stronger. I apologize, I'm butchering these names. I genuinely don't know how to pronounce these things. Is something, yeah, but this blessing, that extra public order in a localized region, that extra replenishment rate is going to give you the opportunity to stand out multiple attacks coming at you non-stop. Now, and the last one, which I think is the third strongest one, is the Blessing of Itzel. Basically makes your units stronger, your Stegodons stronger and cheaper. This, I would say, is the third best because it is something you're going to use on your most aggressive units, but it doesn't really give you much. Just 20% upkeep reduction is going to be really nice, but doesn't give much beyond that. Since this guy, let's say we're going to give him, we've built him for an aggressive stance, we're going to give him that and put it in there. However, every other time, and I say every other time, literally every single Saurus Oldblood that you're not going to use in aggressive, you're going to give him the Blessing of Chotek, because this will make your army much, much better. That's settlement building income is going to be insane. You get 50 of these, you have 100% income upkeep, income extra. That is crazy. Now, with regards to this is the usual. I like going with Blade Master, Enforcer of Order, Foe Seeker, Scarred Veteran, Blade Shield, and Deadly Onslaught. Now, we have 1 point left. What do we do with this? Oh, yeah, I didn't put it in here. I said I'm going to put Blessing of Itzel. And that is essentially how you do. You're level 39, you're going to have 1 extra point. If you have 1 extra point, you could always throw it in here, or you could give him Woundmaker as well. If you don't want to give an Enforcer of Order, which this only gives you 5% extra weapon strength in general and gives you weapon strength against all the other things, you could put it into Woundmaker instead, and then take the thick skin, get the extra armor, and not get Blade Shield. But I believe melee defense is more important than armor, and this is 20% extra weapon strength, which is really good. So you could also swap out, I guess, the Scarred Veteran with that, or mix and match as you see fit. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this was useful. Now we're going to move on to the next one. The next one is the Crested Skink. The Red Crested Skink is just an absolute beast. So what do you do with him? Well, first things first is we go with the same route, and we'll give him that, we'll give him that, and give him that. That is done. That's perfect. You do not need to give these last 4 points. I like doing it because of the army cost. Now, with regards to the Red Crested Skink, you're going to give him Ancient Stegodon, and you're going to give him all of this. Then eventually you're going to give him Warrior's Crest, and you're going to give him one of these 3. Now, you have Jungle Patrol, you have Dexterous Warriors, and Temple Builder. Temple Builder is a defensive one. It reduces the cost of building in the local province. It gives you Untainted and Public Order. It's really good. Dexterous Warriors just makes your skinks better. It's okay, but not the best. Jungle Patrol is really good. Increases casualties captured after battle, campaign movement, and replenishment. That's what you want to get. Then you get Beast Tamer, you get Skink Leader, or Spawn Brothers. This essentially increases your different army strengths as you're going along. This guy busts skinks to hell and high water and makes skinks doomstacks an actual thing. Chameleon Skink Doomstack with this guy, just a cheap army that you can hold off anything, is really worth it. You could also go with Beast Tamer, but no one uses Cold Ones and Terragon Riders at all. So I would recommend giving him Skink Leader. Predatory Fighter. Oh, no, we're going to go on that later. Inspiring Presence, this one is the same. Actually, no, not the same. You want Skirmisher, sorry. I made a bit... I'm making a bit of a mistake here. Where is it? Yes, no, I didn't. It's Missile Strength here for Chameleon Skinks and Enormous Skinks. I did not make a mistake. I just missed it for a reason there. So anyway, you get Skirmishers and you get Beast Driver, and that's what you want. I put it in Sacred Veteran, but I won't reset the entire thing. Then you do Rally, and you do, I believe it's Spawnkin. Yes, it's Spawnkin, which makes your skinks much stronger. And there you go. Now, the last one is, of course, do what you feel is best. This is like the other one. Thick Skin Fold. There you go. Let's say we give him this. And there you go. This is how you build the Red Crested Skink. You still have 1 extra point. You can give him Deadly Onslaught, or you can give him any other thing that you want. I believe this is the best way to build the Red Crested Skink. There are some things which you can move around as well. This should be in Beast Driver. I made a small mistake there, but that's absolutely fine. Definitely, it's up to you how you want to build it according to what you're aiming for. And now the third one, and the one that is the most strong as an individual unit, is the Kroxigor Agent. Now, Kroxigor Agent, we're just going to get this out of the way. And Kroxigor Agent is basically a weaker Nakai and does really well. You want to get him Reptilian Resistance, and you want to get him Immortality. You don't need to get him the Magic Resistance per se, because he has so much health, it doesn't really make a big difference. Now, you have Orbitinit till that, which makes the units around him stronger and resist melee, missile resistance and melee defense. You want to give him that. You can give him Intimidating Bulk, but it's not necessary. And then you have the option Reptilian Instincts. It's just weapon strength and charge bonus for himself. Meat Shield makes his Kroxigor stronger, or Dealer in that, which makes that. So these makes them harder to kill. This makes them stronger. Sorry. And that's according to what you're going for. I think that the 10% physical resistance is great, but I also think that 10% extra weapon strength and 8 extra melee attack is really strong with a Kroxigor stack on the Kroxigor Agent. Now, since you're going to go with Kroxigors, you want Sacred Guardian and you want Beast Driver, and this is exactly how we've discussed it already. You want to give him Spawnkin and Epicentrist in this case, and stand your ground. Finally, you do the normal thing where you just fill this up. It doesn't matter how. And there you go. Now, you have an extra point. You have an extra few points. You can fill up Protection of the Old Ones, Intimidating Bulk, Reptilian Instinct. It is up to you. But this is how I would build the Kroxigor Agent. With that said, let us jump into the Slan, and we'll discuss the Slan, because the Slan is a bit of a special one on his own. Keep in mind, guys, that if you want to build any other way, or if you have your opinions or ideas on what and how it should be built, let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the discussion. I always love to have a chat about this. If you find this useful, I could also do one for the individual heroes and the agents, and we'll have a discussion about those as well. And with that, we get to the slants. The slants can be activated through the Rite of Awakening, and you get them through there, and eventually you get to choose between 4 different slant types. I highly recommend getting the life slants as much as possible. I got really lucky. You can get a 2nd, 3rd, 4th generation slant. Each generation has different amounts of Winds of Magic reserve. In this case, I got very lucky with a 2nd generation slant, which are very, very strong. As you can see, they get extra points per turn, they have miscost reduction, and they have an extra 40 Winds of Magic as they start. Now, that said, you have a lot going on here compared to the others. The first thing that you want is to make sure that they are strong and they are immortal. Once you have a slant this high up level, and it's very easy to start spawning them at this level with the slant building, because it gives them extra strength. First things first, you want them to get Lightning Strike. That is your main goal. After Lightning Strike, you're going to want to level up Life Bloom and Earth Blood. Then you can put yourself a Pointed Flesh to Stone or Shield of Thorns. Both are really good. I prefer Shield of Thorns because it's AoE, and it does gives you extra base weapon damage and that 22% physical resistance. This gives you just an 60 armor, so getting Shield of Thorns is a good idea. Evasion is really strong as it gives you that 5 extra melee defense. For those who, I just realized I didn't explain what melee defense is. For those who don't know, melee defense is the amount of times you can dodge, the percentage chance you can dodge based on the number of melee defense you have. The game does a calculation and you get to sort it out. Then I always recommend going for magical reserves, 2 points in regrowth, 2 points in Dwellers Below, and Great Arcane Conduit. At this point, you want to get yourself Focus of the Mysteries. That gives you 2 costs of Banishment, and Banishment is a really strong Vortex spell. And then you get yourself Transcendent Healing, because that gives you the regeneration perk. It makes you weak to fire, but you get to regenerate, and that's really important. That said, finally, you need to get into this. You get Beast Driver because you want your Stegodons and you want them to be as strong as possible. And you also get to go into Hunt Leader over here. Yes, because you want the big boys over there. Finally, you get Rally and you get Epicentrist and Slant Force Field. This is how I build a slant. Now, with that said, you can change things around and you can do things differently. Regrowth is not necessarily needed to be overcasted, but it does help to have 2 points in regrowth, and you don't necessarily need to have Dwellers Below, but I do like Dwellers Below because it's one of the strongest spells in the game, in my opinion. It's really strong, does a lot of damage, and it slows down enemy combatants. Never ever get Earthing. You already have a miscast chance reduction. There's no point in getting 15% when you already have 50, and the reason why you want Epicentrist is because you are going to build an army of monsters. Now, the main problem here is that you do not have Telekinesis, which reduces your missile resistance, increases your missile resistance, and you do not have Protection of the Old One, which increases your magic resistance. That said, you should be able to do just fine with this. Now, I hope this was useful to all of you. I don't believe I missed anything. Gorok is dead again. Ignore this. These were my testing words, and I have tested and recruited all of those. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had found this useful. If you did, please do consider subscribing to the channel. We're trying to reach 2,000 subscribers now, and we are slowly and steadily getting towards there. Hope you're having a lovely day. Take care and stay safe. If you have any comments, any feedback, or just want to have a discussion, or you believe that there should be a better way and you have a reason as to why there's a better way of doing things, please let me know in the comments in Reddit, the comments on Facebook, I'm not sure I'm sharing there anymore, Discord, or just simply on the comments on YouTube, where you can always find me. Bye bye, take care and have a nice day. Bye!